Galatians 6 verse 9 lets us know that we shouldn't grow weary of doing the work of God, for in due time He Himself will reward us. It's another exciting week, and as you all know, thanks for tuning in as well. My name is Liz, and this is Liz Talks. As you can see, we are here in the Chapel of Triumphant, and it's birthed by the Triumphant Global Ministries, and we are here to have a chit chat with the resident pastor, Pastor John Ephriams. I almost got his name wrong, John Ephriams. Now we are here, to have a chit chat with him. Let him tell us about himself, what he's been through. Let us share, his experience with him. But before I introduce my guest for the week, let's go take a breather. We'll be right back after this. He will introduce himself after this short break. Stay with us. Right, welcome back from that quick break. And before we went for the break, I told you we're going to be having a chit chat with one great man of God. He's been in the service of God for over 24 years now, and he's here with us. I'm here, though, with him here in his church, as you can see. His name is Pastor Ephriams, John Ephriams. He is my guest for today. I'll allow him to introduce himself. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you.
It's so great to see you.
Oh,
I'm honored, I must say.
I'm also privileged.
To be in the house of God, it's a good thing.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, I don't know how to start, but my name is Pastor John Ephriams.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I'm the resident pastor of Chapel of Triumphant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm married with 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
So
Basically.
I don't know much. I don't know much.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, basically, we would want to know where you were born. How was life growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I was born sometime so many years ago.
Yes. So many years ago.
Let's say I was born 1969.
Okay.
In a place called Amici. Amici. That is at Newi, Anambra State, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not 9 months baby child.
Whoa.
Yes. My mother carried me in her womb for 2 years. Yes, 2 years.
2 years.
2 solid years.
Why?
Well, because I think God wanted my mother to understand to come to terms with the purpose, because it was in the course of trying to find out why, because there was a lot of mockery, a lot of people were saying, oh, she's not pregnant, some say she's a witch and all that. That kind of child, somebody be pregnant for 2 years. So it was in the course of trying to find out. Then there was no scan. Of course, there was no scan. So to try to find out my mother met a prophet who spoke to him directly and said, the child is a man of God, and is going to be a man that God will use mightily. And right there on the spot, without scanning, without getting to know this gender of the baby, they gave me a name, Elijah.
Wow.
Yes. So after some time again, they told her that except she decide to dedicate me to God all through my life, that I will not come out. So she went to church and knelt down before the Lord and said, God, I submit, to your will. Have your way. If the child comes out alive, I will dedicate him to you all through his life. So then they give me another name, John. no scar,
Your
nobody
name
knows.
kept changing from Elijah.
Not actually changing, but,
Okay.
but a kind of confirmation.
Okay.
It's a kind of confirmation that, the Bible said John the Baptist will go in the spirit of Elijah.
Okay.
So it was a confirmation that is an old prophet in the New Testament. So, yes. Then, and after my mother made that vow and dedicated me before I was born, 2 days after I came out powerfully. And my skin didn't peel. I didn't grow teeth in the womb, and just normal child. Nothing shows that there was any abnormal. 2 years, 2 solid years. In fact, anytime they celebrate Mother's Day, I think I'm the one that do more of the celebration.
Is your mom alive though?
Oh, unfortunately, yes, she has passed on to the glory. But she passed on at a very wonderful age, 93 years. And I'm happy. I'm happy she put me on this path.
Hey.
Yes.
Were you her first child then?
I'm the last.
You are the last?
Yes, the last.
Head it like that.
It's not my fault. It is divine. It's not my fault, it is divine. As soon as she made that vow, I just came out 2 days after.
So you believe your life is a prophecy?
My life is a testimony. My life is a testimony. My life is a prophecy. I'm a product of prophecy. And I preached at the first age, at age 7.
Wow.
In the church, yes. I preached at age 7. I've not gone through the scripture, but everything I preached then, I'll ask them to confirm. And they will go to the scripture and they got
exactly.
it. Yes, exactly.
So at age 7, were you hearing voices? How did you know you have the calling of God?
It's like, let me use the word. I don't know if you have seen this chicken, mother chicken and mother fowl and the chicken. Mm-hmm. Now, when on a day old chicken goes out with the mother hen, and a kind of cat at the end of this eagle or hawk passes, there's a noise that the mother will make. A day-old chicken knows the noise is for danger, and they know what to do. It is instinct. They are born with it. So I think that was what happened to me, because at that time I didn't know anything, but there's this spiritual instinct, if I can use the word instinct, that I had as a child.
Do you still have it now?
Oh, now it's no longer instinct. Now it's confirmed, presence, God's presence in my life. Because now I can take decisions. Then I don't know, I can't take decisions. Yes. So the relationship I have with God then will be based on instincts. I needed to be guided, just like the child Eli was guided. Samuel was guided. She heard God's voice, but she doesn't know what it is. So you have to meet a prophet who told him, oh, next time this voice sound again, just tell him, speak.
So who was your guide then? Who was guiding you throughout?
Well, I think when I started growing up, my mother had to give me to go and stay with a pastor.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I stayed with a pastor because I lost my dad very early in life. So I stayed with a pastor who also continued to nurture me in the things of God and all that. So I think I'm grateful to God for this background, this history, this brief history of mine, because I found myself privileged.
Yes, exactly. So let's go back to after your birth. Growing up, you grew up in where? Anambra?
Yes, I grew up in Anambra.
Yes. What were you doing then? Were you farming? What were your parents doing?
Well, because in and out, I keep moving from the pastor's house to my mother's house.
Okay, so at what age did you finally settle with the pastor?
For ministry?
No, with the pastor.
I think what happened was that it's like during holidays, I would go and stay with my mom. Okay. Then after the school.
So it was like a dedication
yes,
your mother did.
It's just like God, my mother saying, this is a vow I have made. Oh. So let me just give him from tender age. I was dedicated
How old
to
were
God.
You then? Was it before 7?
Yes, before 7. Yes, before 7. But my mother was always coming around, so I didn't miss anything.
Okay. Was it like a parish or a church?
Yes, it's like a church.
Like what church? Was it normal charismatic or Catholic church?
No, it was not charismatic. It was this, there's a church we call Sabbath.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was this Sabbath church that, but I think that was where the fear of God, even though I don't want to judge anybody, but that was where the foundation of the fear of God was planted in me.
In you.
Yes.
So you think it helped you, it groomed you
Oh, it did.
growing up?
It did. It really did.
So finally, at what age did you realize that, okay, there's the calling of God on me, and you could hear voices?
From the very day I started hearing,
After the
the
7th.
very day I started hearing, not
Yes.
even the very day I started hearing, my mother spoke to me.
Okay.
I think one of the things my mother did for me that I will never forget was that she told me from day one, this is my destiny. This is what.
How old were you then? I want to know, because then
You know,
sure
that's
you must be
that's
young.
what I'm saying. I can't actually say when,
Okay.
because I started hearing this from the very day I started. I can recognize voices.
You're very young, go.
From the very day I started hearing voices,
I want to find out, like,
my mother
you said
told me
7.
this is it. But what happened? What happened is that as I began to grow, as I started growing up, as a young man,
Okay.
I decided, you know, maybe because of peer pressure, and again also for a proper kind of, for me to come to a decision, not just because it's what my mother told me.
Okay.
You know, so I found myself getting involved in other things.
Like?
Grew up with my you know, the way you normally grew up with your peers and all that, all those peer issues and all those. I get involved in other things. I deviated a kind of move away from.
So you went wayward a bit.
Oh, would I say wayward? But I don't know how to say wayward. But I tested the other side. You know.
Okay.
So after some time, I felt I should be a normal
the
child.
right side. What were you doing? Were you going out,
Of
having
course.
fun, drinking?
Of course.
Like,
Of course. Of course.
Say the worldly people do.
Oh, exactly. Everything the normal young man
because
did.
you were living with a pastor. So I mean.
Later I moved out.
You moved out.
Yeah. When I got a job and all that. So I decided to, it's like, man, I'm up to the age to answer for myself. I should be able to take decisions based on my convictions and not what I was told. So I get involved in other things, get involved with people, get involved with my peers, do all the things young men do in their days, go to parties and club and all that. Until
at
one
the time,
day,
how old were you then when you started going wayward?
I didn't grow the world wayward.
You went into the world when you moved from God's house, and then you started to have fun on your own, chill.
Yes.
So at that time, moving from the pastor's place into the world, I would say. How old were you then?
I can't place a particular age, but I know it was something we did as a young, as we were growing up. But sometime at the age of 21, I met Christ.
Again?
Yes, and now I can say I now got to, I accepted Christ as my Lord and personal Savior. Willingly, not I was told.
Okay.
I was not that I was born in the church. I gave my life to Christ. I went through foundation, school, and I was baptized. Just normal thing that every other person that got born again usually do. And it was in that process that I told myself, no, I can't continue to play ostrich. This is my life. Because no matter what I do, I feel unfulfilled. There's this, lack of satisfaction I have inside. It's not what money can give me. I worked in a company. I was a very productive sales manager of a company.
As young as you were.
Yes. I was as young as I was. I did a lot of things. Moved from the company, started my own business. But
was your father alive at then?
No, I lost my father very early.
Okay.
Very, very early in life. I lost my father early.
So you were on your own?
Yes. I have to move. At a certain stage, you have to now take care of yourself.
Yes.
So that was what happened. So after some time, I told myself, no, this money can't solve this. Money, fame cannot. There's something I do that give me that joy, until I accepted to answer the call. And
So would you say growing up, maybe because of lack of certain things, maybe because life was tough growing up, that's why you deviated into the world?
no,
No.
it was not about life being tough. It's just the natural curiosity of children. I wanted to have other life, the life that I saw other young men, go to party, you have your
Just
girlfriend
wanted
and all
to
that.
taste it and find out what is really there.
Yes, I did. I did. They said every sinner has a future. Every saint has a past.
Exactly.
So
So finally, when you settled from age 20 into God's house again, where did you start your ministry? How did it all start for you?
okay, what happened? When I got born again, I have to start serving in the church.
Okay.
I served in a fellowship. I got born again in a fellowship. It's a full gospel businessman fellowship. So I started serving in the music department because I just wanted something to keep me busy. So as soon as I got born again, I joined the music department. So I started serving there. So after some time, I relocated to Lagos and also continued serving in the church as a choir director, as a drummer and all that. Then later I became the youth pastor of the church. Then it's from that period I became the youth pastor. I decided now to answer the call. So I went to Bible school, went to leadership school, graduated from there, and I told my pastor then that I want to go and understudy somebody who happened to be my father in the Lord, the one that when I got born again, I started worshiping him before I relocated to Lagos. So I have to go back to Owerri then. So I went back. In the course of that, I was employed in Winners Chapel.
Oh, okay. Employed as a full-time pastor?
I was employed first as a staff.
Oh, okay.
Then I was still doing understudy and I was employed as a staff. From there, I became a full-time pastor. Then in 1997, March 1997.
Wow.
Yes.
Ordained by who?
Bishop Oyedepo.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you started from Winners?
Yes.
So
I planted a church in a place called Abak in Akwa Ibom. Transferred from there to a place called Eket. Yeah.
Wow.
Then transferred to another place called Ekom.
Hey.
Transferred to another place called Aba, from Aba to Biaroko before I finally left.
So, okay. So what happened? Why did you decide to leave? And then what led to you come to Ghana as well?
What happened was that my direct boss, because Winners Chapel has a very wonderful hierarchy and the order of reporting.
Okay.
So I was working under my present day GO, Reverend Dr. Ebrene Ayla Bowo. So I worked under him in Atuyo. My station was under his diocese. So when he was transferred to Accra, and after some time, God told him to start his own ministry. He started. So somehow I called him because he's somebody who nurtured me in the terms of, he taught me what I know in ministry. So it's like all through the time I worked in Winners Chapel, I never had any one-on-one relationship with Bishop Oyedepo.
Whoa.
Never, no, never. The way the ministry is structured, it's not possible.
You can't meet the main man.
No, the way the ministry is structured, it's not possible. Except,
Why?
as you keep growing, that can happen in the future. But they put certain structures that you report to so and so person. This also reports. So for me, the Bishop Oyedepo I know was my direct boss. So all the things I learned in ministry, I learned under him. And he was a man full of compassion. He loved me. He even when, I don't want to go into some things, but he was instrumental to who I am, family-wise and ministry. So
okay.
it was
you
easy.
Can tell us because people would listen to you and would want to, take something out of your experience.
No, just like I said. So you can say No, just like I said, I know you guys like sensational
No,
issues.
we don't.
There's no
We
sensational,
don't, we
but
don't,
there's no exclusiveness here. There's nothing
Okay.
to give you.
Okay.
It's just normal thing. You know, when you work with somebody, and you found a father, a mentor, you know, somebody you can easily go to in the times of need, and you confide in him, and
Exactly.
yeah,
So you took him
so
like a father.
he is not just he is a father to me, and he's still my father
Wow.
till today. The ministry I'm serving here, I'm in a branch of his church, and I've worked under him for 18 years.
Wow.
Yes, that's to show you the bond.
Exactly.
Yes.
You would
So
have
it
been
was
gone a long
easy
time.
when I called him and he asked me to come. It was easy. It was a decision I didn't even need to consult anybody to ask, because he has been, and you know, I was sent under him when I didn't know anything. So whatever I know, I think I learned those things. He imparted me so much, so it was easy decision for me to make.
And how many pastors have you worked with, or have you groomed? You know, because as you are growing in the work of God, you also get to train pastors
Okay.
and, you know, ordain them.
Yes.
How many have you had a lot?
Whoa, wow. Yes, I've had a couple of them.
Okay.
You know, I have, by the grace of God, about 8 of them.
Whoa.
Yes, 8 of them, and they are doing very well. They are doing
All
very
in
well.
Ghana?
Some in Ghana, some in Nigeria, some in Liberia.
Wow.
So they are doing very well.
Right. Let's hold it there, though.
Okay.
Let's go take a breather. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Right, welcome back. And before we went for that break,
Yes.
we were like, let he
They want to be your leader.
be a servant.
Yes.
So let's take it from there.
Okay. So Jesus said that simply means that it is at the how do I put it? Is at the school of service that leaders are made. You see, so it is in service that leaders are made. So a leader must first and foremost be a servant. A leader, first and foremost, must be a servant. And I told them in the church that when God sees a man who wants to lead, some people just want to lead. They have ambition to be on top. Want to be. God said from that word, when God sees a man that wants to lead, he makes him a servant. But when God sees a man that wants to serve, he makes him a leader. Because it's at the realm of service that leadership is molded. So if I see people around me and around the church who has that heart of service, that's the first criteria. Because ministry is all about service. It's about rendering services to the people. You know, so anyone who is too big to serve, no matter his talent and gift and whatever I think he has going for him, he is disqualified from the position of leadership in ministry.
What if the person has the calling?
If you have the calling, that's what I'm saying. If you have the calling, which, of course, I'm not there to confirm, because when God calls people, he doesn't call witness. So I can't confirm if God called you. The only thing that will make me believe that God actually called you is that what I'm just telling you right now. You must, number one, be a man of humility. Then number two, you must be available. You must be available. God doesn't call people who are unavailable. You must be available. If you look at the people that God has called, from Moses to David and all that, those who are exemplary leaders, they were people who, at one point or the other in their life, were servants. You see, now at the time Moses was the prince of Egypt, he had all the connections, had all the knowledge about Egypt. He wanted to lead. What did God do? God just allowed him to fail. So he failed in the first attempt to lead the people and went into exile. And when he went into exile, he became a servant. Can you see it now? So he became a servant to he served his mother, his father-in-law for almost 30 years of his life. When God had to call him, so now you are qualified to lead the people. You know, the same thing with David. David was in the bush, serving the father. The last born that should be pet, that should be the love of everybody in the house, that became the breadwinner. He was the one taking care of the business of the whole family. When he's the last that should enjoy, and that was where God saw him.
Now, somebody might see you now and say, oh, Pastor John Ephriams is doing well. He has his big church. He has his large congregation. He's doing this, he's doing that. But they wouldn't know how you suffered, how everything started from the scratch for you. I would like you to share with us a little experience of how this whole church came about, how you started.
Okay.
Yes, and how things are now.
Like I told you before, when I I spoke with my bishop, Right Reverend Dr. Abraham F. Ayalabo, he asked me to come, and I came. And the church was, planted for the Liberian refugees that were here. So, because the ministry used to give them vehicle to bring them to Accra for service. So after some time, the number became so big enough, large enough, so they decided to open a branch for them in the camp.
Okay.
So that was how I came about, and I have to come to be part of them. And but when I came, there was I met a church, because church is not a building, church is people. So I met people. So then we have service in the open. There was no building, there was no house. So we have all our services in the open places. We don't have any chair. We have to go and borrow chair from a school nearby to hold services. Sometimes we're having service, snake will enter the church, and we continue our service because it's open service, open air, nothing. So it was how we started this place, and by the grace of God, the Liberians, I'm eternally grateful for the people I met on the ground. They sacrificed out of the little resources, little upkeep they receive from their relations abroad. Sometimes $50 and all that. That's how we build this place. Yes, people have to contribute money here and there. Some of us were mason, some of us were carpenter, some of us were. So we got, anytime we want to work, we call everybody. They just told me, Daddy, all you need to do is just cook for us. So we'll cook rice, just cook. We'll cook rice, then we'll come, we'll mold blocks. And sometimes because they don't know, the blocks are not even good. So sometimes, he has his own advantage. But you see, the love, the desire. In fact, that was what made me to stay. Because when I came, the whole place was bush, no development, no lights, nothing. When you look at our church now, you desire to be here. When I came here, you wouldn't even like to stay. But because of the dedication I saw in the life, I saw hunger for God among the people. In fact, when I came, I was living in Accra, Kasua. So I was coming from Kasua to church here. Yeah. But when I saw the way, the love they have, and the way, I said, no, I can't impact a people from afar. So I have to come and live among them. So I came and I started living among the Liberians. And that's how we started like a family. And every little money God gives to us, we'll get one block, get this and get that. That's how the church was built. So it was not just a day thing. It was not just a day thing. Anybody who wants to succeed overnight are simply on a path of destruction. Yes. Whatever you do in life, we are told that the only thing that starts from top to ground is grave. Every other thing starts from ground to up. So Anybody who wants to go into ministry and want to have large congregation overnight, have big cars and all that, they are in the wrong profession. And these are the people that will do all manner of things in order to get what they want, because they are not driven by passion. They are driven by ambition. They don't have a calling. They just see the glamour around and they want to be part of it. There are some days I don't have food to eat. Of course. When I was saying, because I trekked to my house.
Was your house far from?
No, when I was in Kasua, I trekked from here to. Yes, I trek. Yes, I trek. And and I wasn't complaining. I didn't complain to my general overseer. I didn't murmur. I was happy doing that, even though I know I left 3 cars in Nigeria to come here. I left a family, left a house, I left everything. But because this is my life, this is what I am for you. Remember, I told you my mother dedicated me to God all through my life. So there was nothing that could have given me joy apart from what I'm doing, and nothing else too. Of course, that is the secret of success. For you to succeed in any way, in any profession, you must love the job. You must love the job. Not because of what you gain from the job. It's just passion for the job. If you do things you don't have passion for, you can't succeed in it.
Sometimes it takes time to grow.
You mean to grow?
Yes, to grow. Like for it to reach the higher height.
Of course.
You want it to.
It will still take time. You see, one thing about growth is that whatever you grow with is something you can sustain. You see, if you don't go with anything, maybe like I told them in church one day, say if they divide the money in the whole world in circulation to everybody, all of us will be billionaires overnight.
Exactly.
7 billion people can have $7 billion dollars to each person. But you see, give everybody again 3 months or 6 months maximum. Go back and check those people you give those billions. They will return back to where they used to be before. Go back to those who are billionaires now. They return back to where they used to be before. Because it is practically impossible for you to maintain what you have not gotten by personal development. So you grow with things. As you are growing with them, you are also learning how to maintain those things. But if you just come overnight and you just sit upon some things and like that, you don't know how those things started. You don't have the value. If you know what it takes for one person to enter the church, you have to do evangelism. You have to follow people up. You have to beg them. I remember when I went to plant church in Nigeria, we are giving money to children to come to church.
Beg them.
You beg them, come to church. I'll buy you biscuits. You see, so when you don't know the value or the sacrifice that it takes for one person to enter church, that's why you can stand on the altar and you talk to people anyhow. You understand? Yeah. Because you don't know. You never grow from the scratch. But if it's something that grows with you, man, for anything to happen, you'll be so attached to that thing that you wouldn't want that thing to destroy.
So now, looking at the prophetic ministry, I know there's a difference between the evangelic ministry and the prophetic ministry.
Yes.
Do you think the prophetic ministry is overshadowing the evangelistic ministry?
I don't want to use the word overshadow, because the Bible says we are doing the same thing. There's a prophetic ministry, there's a teaching ministry, there's an apostolic ministry, there's a healing ministry, and there is pastoral ministry. I think I've mentioned that before. Yes. There are about 5-fold ministries: a teacher, evangelist. Well, not really. There are some people that can have 1 or 2 or 3 of them. But I don't know anyway, but I've not found anybody that had all. Because see, the evangelistic ministry is peculiar on its own. Apostolic is, I don't know, how will you combine them? How will the person combine? Apostolic is different, a pastor is different, and evangelist, come again?
People say I'm gifted. People want to hear. People always rush to churches that say, oh, come and buy holy water. Come and do this. your mother is a witch, your this is this, your destiny is tied to someone. Everybody wants to hear stuff like that.
Oh, because that is end time. We're in the end time. That's what the Bible said. End time like this is what will happen.
Okay.
You understand? So we're in the end time where there's false prophets, there are false miracles, there are false, because,
Question, from my little understanding of the Bible, men of God are not supposed to go into politics.
Okay.
So looking at Nigeria, Christo Kitty, and even in Ghana, Christian Andrews or Reverend Chirabosi, getting into politics. What's your take on that as a man?
Well, I've never seen any scripture where the Bible said men of God should not go into politics.
Yeah.
I've never seen. But if you ask my opinion, a pastor, a bishop, or whatever title or calling you have, you're like the conscience of the nation. People should be able to see truth from you. You should be able to put yourself in a position you can speak truth to power. And once you get into politics, you lost that opportunity.
That's a great one. So finally, me walking into this residence, I never knew that you are just a residence pastor. I thought you owned it and you managed it so well, which it looks as if you managing someone's own and making it as your own, which I feel like a lot of youth today don't have. They lack that kind of something that will make them take someone's own and make it as their own. What are your ending words to them? What would you like to tell the youth today? A lot of people looking up to you as a man of God. What would you tell them?
I will encourage anybody that had opportunity to serve or to work at any establishment. First, you are not working for man. The Bible said, servants. He said, obey them that have rule over you. And serve them as a man rendering service unto God. Not as men pleasers, but as servant of God, doing the will of God, knowing fully well that whatever good any man do, the same shall he receive from the Lord. So the moment you see yourself, number one, as a servant of God, wherever you find yourself, that's the number one key. That I am here not just because my boss sent me here, not just because the government, this is where they posted me. I am here to render service to God first and to humanity. That's the first key. The second key is that for God to promote you at where you are and what you do, you must do it as if it is your own.
Right. So tell us, how many branches do you have here in Kaswa? And, when someone is looking for you, what is the location? Would you like to leave your numbers out as well?
Okay. First, our headquarters is in Achimota Golf Park.
Okay.
And that's where our bishop is. And I want to use the opportunity to give a shout out to my bishop, my father, my mentor, and my life coach. So if you are in Accra, just worship with our headquarters at Golf Park, then we have a branch in Kaswa. Yes, just around the new market there, and this one in Budumburam. So if you are in Kaswa, you can locate our church at by the new market there.
New Market Road?
Yes, no, just opposite New Market. Okay. You see the signboard of the church.
And then
so and if you can also worship with us here at Budumburam beside St. Gregory Senior High School. And of course, you can also get in contact with us on phone. My numbers are 0243-887-500. 0243-887-500. You can get in contact with us and for prayers and for counseling. And of course, you can worship with us on Sundays. We have two powerful services, 8 to 10 o'clock, and the second service 10 to 12:15. So you can be part of that great worships. And of course, on Tuesday, our Word and Prayer service, and on Thursday, our prayer power time. So I believe as you come, you're going to be part of the testimony of what God is doing in the church here.
Thanks so much. Those words are powerful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Right. We've come yet to an end of another exciting episode. Today we came to the Chapel of Triumph, and we are with the resident pastor, Mr. Pastor John Ephriams. It was a good time with him, and you heard it all from him. You have to put strength and great service into another man's home to have yours be successful. This is the stocks. My name is Liz. So we'll come your way next time. It's everybody. Bye.